Hate starting off these podcasts in a bad mood, Brandon. You're in a bad mood today, Papa. So you okay?
Jess, I'm upset.
Yeah?
These sons of bitches broke into my car last night, broke into my wife's car. They had a couple cars on the street. The damn ring camera didn't catch nothing, dude. I'm feeling, oh, I'm a baked little bean right now, let me tell you,
Yeah.
sir.
So anything of importance taken from your car? Because I've had break-ins before in my building. Are you an apartment or are you a house?
Like an apartment, but it's like a townhouse kind of
Yeah,
layout
yeah.
thing. So our we're like kind of semi busy street, like busy street adjacent. It just happens. Luckily, nothing too valuable, nothing that couldn't be replaced was taken. So it's all good, Jess. But hey, I am excited to get to talk a little bit of baseball. The Padres, just like everyone called it in the offseason, didn't need to do anything. They're the best
Yeah.
team in baseball right now. But then go figure, it's those pesky Giants. And then your lowly Dodgers. The best three
Yeah.
records in baseballs are all in the NL West, maybe top four with the Snakes. But Jess,
Yeah.
it is good to be back with you, brother. This is another episode of Deferred Collusion. Ladies and gentlemen, your host, your captain, my captain, Captain Jack, dude. Captain Jackie Robinson Rowe, the
Okay.
king of Crespi,
All right.
everyone's favorite content creator. Jess, how are you, Big Daddy?
Doing great. I was just double checking to make sure you were right about that, and you are right. The four best records of the league are in the National League West, and it's funny because you were talking about a break-in, and like I feel this way every time the Dodgers play the Rockies. It kind of feels like the Rockies are the type of team that like they break into your house, but they leave $1 million. You know what I mean? Like that's the Rockies in a nutshell. They break in and they like leave you stuff from their house because they just
Yeah, if you don't believe us, just ask the St. Louis Cardinals, who were famously paid to take Platinum Glove All Star
yeah.
Nolan Arenado and the face of the franchise. But Jess, it has been sour grapes for those pesky purple people eaters out in the great state of Colorado.
Yeah.
I think they're down 10 and a half games in the standings. There's only been 17 games played to this point, I believe.
Yeah, I'm looking at the standings right here. The Rockies are currently 11 and a half back. They're 3-15. They have allowed twice as many runs as they've scored. They've scored 52 runs and they've allowed 103. So, like, yeah, the Dodgers swept, but they almost kind of gave it away because this is not a Major League Baseball team that the Dodgers were playing. I mean, they're clearly the worst team in baseball as of right now, with the exception of the Chicago White Sox. It's a pretty close battle between those two at the moment. But to have a minus 51 run differential through 18 games, look, dude, it's hard. It's hard to be that bad. That's hard to do, you know. Take it with a grain of salt what the Dodgers did against them, but I think that they really the real test of this series was yesterday. Because Bobby Miller came back and made his return for his first start of 2025. And I've been one of the people who really have been on the wagon of that I still believe in the kid, that I still think he can be a contributor at the major league level. I've likened him to guys like Dylan Cease, who have really good stuff but have struggled to sort of find their mechanics and their confidence at the major league level, but that the stuff would eventually play out, right? That eventually be good enough. I mean, like, as of right now, I'm eating crow because he just got optioned back to the minor leagues after what happened yesterday. Kind of a hard outing to watch because it was all set up so perfectly for him, Brandon. The Dodgers, he gave up a run quickly, but then the Dodgers score 7 in the first inning. Shohei got to bat twice, and by inning 3, he had blown it, and it was a 1-run game. He gave up a grand slam and then back-to-back home runs, and it was like, dude, like, you're kind of digging your own grave here a little bit, and it was hard to watch. His confidence has to be shot right now, and it's unfortunate because with how stacked the Dodgers are, running a 6-man rotation out there, how many pitchers that they have, it just seems like this. If this happens again, when he gets the call, if he gets his confidence back in the minors and he gets called up again and gets shelled again, it seems like it's very likely that the Dodgers are gonna try to find a new home for him because he's just not gonna have a place in the rotation.
Jess, we've talked about that a little bit earlier this year, just about the viability of a Bobby Miller trade. His ERA is over 11 right now. Had 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. So you look at that and you go, awesome. Over 3 innings, cool. Whoa, okay. Short outing, but the Ks are great. But then he gave up, I think it was 8 hits. 6 of those came across the score. Pretty tough night of work for Bobby, but it's one of those things where it's like I almost feel like, and I don't even want to say it, right, just because I don't want to tempt the baseball gods, but it feels like we're seeing a guy who's got the yips, and it's like, Jess, I'm going to use a little bit of a metaphor here. I don't know if you're familiar with the term, but basically I'm going to give you something to visualize as an example of the situation. So, Jess, Bobby Miller just got out of a really bad relationship, right? That is the 2024 season. Had the worst record of a Dodgers pitcher, qualifying pitcher ever. That's a really infamous stat, right? You don't want that on your placard at the end of your life. But anyways, Jess, I think that Bobby. I think I just lost my fucking point, dude. I just lost my train of thought completely, dude.
Yeah, I think you were talking about getting out of a relationship.
Metaphor, but yeah. So
getting out of a
basically,
relationship.
Bobby got out of his bad relationship, and he's looking for a fresh start. And he's got the MLB's rebound in the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah,
he hits him up with that late text.
He took an easy date. He kind of went for the village bicycle.
Threw out that late night text like, "You up?" They were like, "Yeah." And he hit up
the village bicycle, is what you're saying.
I'm saying that he hit up the MLB's rebound, right? It's exactly what the Dodgers needed. You don't believe me? Look at the box score. And
he fumbled it.
But he fumbled it, Jazz. He fumbled the bag. And look, like any young man, we've all fumbled the bag. They all say, the one that got away. Well, my God, this was the start that got away. And it feels like it's just a slippery, ominous slope into self-deprecating behavior, like, giving up back-to-back homers, grand slams, and you know what? Not commanding a third pitch is really what it comes down to. It seems like he's just trying to get over this fastball when he loses command, and that's just what hitters are waiting on, and they finally get it, and boy, they're not missing. If the Rockies aren't missing, what are the Phillies going to do? What are the Padres going to do? And it's too much of a liability. I'm worried about him, but I still think there's plenty of room for him to come back. But yeah, like you said, this is a really big blow to his confidence, and you hate to see it. From a talented young guy.
I like your metaphor there because, when you get out of a really bad relationship, it's kind of like hard to go back in the dating pool because when you spend like a year with somebody, like then you go into the dating pool, it's like I forget how to talk to people. Like I forget how to talk to women because I haven't done it for a year or so, right? But like if you fumble it with like when you go to the rebound chick or that I don't like to I'm not going to be I'm not slut shaming here, Brandon. I'm just I'm just going with this metaphor that you started. So direct your anger at Branden Bollinger is his name.
I'm an ally.
Yeah. If you fumble that, like all you have to do is like not be an idiot on the date. That means that you're saying some like stupid shit. That is like and if she's not into you, then that's like okay, you're just you've already lost. And I think that it's really just all comes down to like the dude he's just kind of like lost his soul for the game a little bit. Like what got him there, and he looks helpless. He looks like a pit bull who's been reduced to like a lost puppy. You're
saying he's been neutered, is what
he's
you're
like
saying.
He's like a pit bull that's been abused. You know what I mean? Like how they are. Their confidence is just like they're just scared all the time. That's what he looks like out there, man. He just and I feel horrible for the guy. Like you were mentioning his the record that he set for the Dodgers. I mean, he had it was something like an 8.3 something ERA over over 13 starts, something which is the worst in Dodger history. But this is a crazy stat. Bobby Miller's career, his first 23 starts, 3.59 ERA. His last 13, 10.02 ERA. And I mean, that's not just like a normal sample size. I mean, that's basically like 2/3 of a season and then 1/3 of a season, and you're combining those two things.
Jesse, do you think this is a case of the league figuring him out, or
Yeah, I think it's
maybe
clearly
just
a case
a
of
young?
it, but it's also a combination of his inability to, get his. He just doesn't have his confidence, and I think he's really afraid of pitching into contact. Clearly, he's clearly afraid of pitching to contact, and then it leads to walks. It leads to a lot of poor execution on 2-strike counts, and then he feels like he needs to throw a strike, and then they know a strike is coming, and then they hit it. So,
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough to watch now for a pretty large sample size, but again, just hoping he maybe develops another pitch, or at least the feel for what he's got enough to be confident again.
Yeah.
So, Bobby, we're rooting for you, brother. We love you.
we are.
Jess,
The reason why I'm concerned about him is because there is help on the way. What were you going to say?
Real quick, I was going to say, we were talking about Bobby's infamous now reputation, I guess, as, not maybe such a good big league pitcher, but at least he didn't get recognized at the airport. He got recognized as a Dodger, but they thought he was a rookie coming up for his first call-up, Jess.
Yeah, shout out to the Joy of Everything on TikTok. His name is Joe Andaloro. He's actually a friend of ours. Branden and I used to work with this guy.
What up, Joe?
Yeah, so he's a celebrity reporter, and he was at the airport, and he saw a sign for Bobby Miller, and it was Bobby Miller making his flight to LA to make his 2025 debut. And Joe, to his credit, he's not really a Dodger fan. I believe he's a Chicago Cubs fan, but he's not super locked in on baseball. I think he's more of an NBA fan.
Yeah.
He starts asking Bobby Miller questions like, how does it feel to, make your debut for such a prestigious organization? Like, just completely unaware of the fact that Bobby Miller was like a starting pitcher back in 2023 and was with the team last year too.
Did you ever think that you would ever, growing up playing Little League, did you ever think you'd be in the bigs? I mean, is that something that was out of the realm, or did you always kind of know?
That's always a dream of mine. So I was a little kid. I painted that picture when I was younger and always held myself to that standard.
Now you're a part of one of the greatest franchises ever been put together, man. Congratulations, man. We're gonna be rooting for you, man, Bobby. All right, take care, man. You're a class act, dude. All the best to you. It's legit, guys. I had a Diamondbacks hat. I'm telling him I'm a Cubs fan. He's like, what is this guy?
Just completely unaware, and Bobby Miller, to his credit, was like answering all the questions like a sweetheart. But Joe got kind of lit up in the comments a little bit. It was funny.
At least somebody forgot about his 2023 playoff appearance.
Hey, that's
a plus. You got to take the good with the bad, Jesse. That's all I'm doing.
Yep,
that's all I'm doing.
Yep. No, it's great. If you haven't, go check out Joe's TikTok, because it's called Joy of Everything. You'll find the Bobby Miller video. It's a crack up. It has a ton of views, by the way, too. Like,
really,
Dodger fans, get in there and let Joe know what you think about that clip, and tell him that Deferred Collusion sent you.
That's right. That's right. And hey, by the way, speaking of Deferred Collusion, don't forget to hit us in the comments, or maybe send us a like. I don't know, follow. I would love that. Send it to somebody who may enjoy it. We would love it. You would love it. And guess what? I would just love it. I really don't have a way to land that. But we would love it.
More importantly, the algorithm loves it. So it does help us out a lot if you guys do that.
Jess, you know what I loved?
Huh.
I loved getting a surprise that our King Kersh had a beautiful rehab start out in OKC. Dude, if you just found out like 3 days ago that you as an opposing AAA player were gonna face Clayton Kershaw, how fucking stoked are you? Like, dude, I'm getting to hit against one of the GOATs.
Yeah.
Bit of good news for people who didn't see the stats, but Kersh was slated to throw 2 innings, threw 3, had 2 Ks, gave up a couple hits, I believe, no walks. Looking good. Fastball was sitting around, I think, 90, they were saying, maybe 89, even a little bit lower, but that's all good. We don't need him to be throwing gas right now. We just need the wizard to work. Jesse, Kershaw was flashing a splitter out there. Maybe a little rub off from our boy Yama. What do you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's the pitch that
What about Roadster?
it's the pitch that's sort of been like missing from Kershaw's arsenal for the entirety of his career is like a consistent changeup. You know, he really used the slider cutter combo thing that he throws as like his version of the changeup, and you know, because he throws different variations of speed on it. You know, it's anywhere between like 85 to 89 or 84 to 80 nowadays. It used to be like 92. He used to be able to throw it pretty hard. It's sort of been a pitch that's been missing, and I mean, you know, if you can throw it 6 or 7% of the time, that's great. I think it'll be useful for him. I think more than anything, it's just gonna be, it's good to have him back because clearly this is going to be a team that is going to run a 6-man rotation out there. We're going to see Yama pitch once a week, basically, and you know Blake Snell's on the shelf at the moment. This is where now we're starting to see the carousel happening, the pitching carousel of who's going to fill in when guys go down. Bobby Miller steps up for one, he gets sent back down. We're going to get Gonsolin back, but Kershaw in particular. I'm already convinced that you were 100% right that he will be throwing more innings than Shohei Ohtani this year, and it seems like that's the fact that he's like already almost ready to go seems like that's very likely to happen because he is you know, so health permitting.
Ball knower, Jesse. That's why, dude. Ball knower.
You are, man. You are, and you know that's why that's why people are calling for you to be the host of this show. You know, so
dude, I always thought I was one of the hosts of the show. Am I not?
Well, you know, co-host, but I don't.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Are we in a caste system, and you believe you're above me because you're not a co-host?
There's a power struggle happening here, Branden. Yeah. But
I demand you refer to yourself as co-host. My co-host, Jesse Rowe, everybody.
Kirsch, though, it's just going to be good to see him back. So hopefully it's under good circumstances. But I mean, how much of a role do you think he's going to play here? Because it's obvious, like the Dodgers have a lot of issues, which we're going to get to. Starting pitching, like overall, I don't think has really been one of them. Like the pitching's been pretty good overall. It hasn't been like as amazing as we had hoped, right? But
yeah,
I think overall we're pretty happy with where things are at. What are you expecting out of Kershaw?
I think kind of to go a long way about answering that. Sorry, but I think I kind of expected it to be a slow start to the Dodgers pitching staff this season. Notoriously, you know, Blake Snell has been a slow starter. He's on the 15-day IL, coming back soon. Obviously, Kershaw and Shohei, Tony Gonsolin all working back from injury, and guys like Dustin May returning to the first time, who, you know, in a couple years now, but looks fantastic. Surprises by Jack Dreyer and Ben Kasparius has been awesome. But like you said, you know, I feel like I'm just totally glazing over Tyler Glass now, who has been great, except for one inning in, you know, a rainy Philadelphia. So the overall, you know, the Dodgers are still on pace to win, like 106 games or something like that. Overall, it's been great. Like, I can't talk shit.
Yeah.
It's just more been worrying to me. I think the defense. But to your question about the role that I see Kershaw playing, I think he's going to give a blow to speak to some of these other starters that we're seeing get a lot of innings right now, most notably Glass now, I think. He might get a week or two off. Who knows? Maybe around the All-Star break. I think they're going to want him healthy for October. You know, it's kind of one of those things. I think a lot of Dodger fans are seeing the Giants off to a hot start, the Diamondbacks and notably the Padres off to a really hot start, but we're kind of all like, hey, keep first place warm for me. But let's see how long your pitching can be the best in baseball, how long your offense can produce like this, because we know that a lot of our guys aren't playing to the names on the back of the jersey. You know, Muncy just started waking up at the dish a bit. Chris Taylor had a couple hits the other night. Like I said, the Rockies are the rebound that every team is hoping to get right now in the MLB, and they really showed it against the Dodgers. But I'm thinking Kersh is going to be almost like a long man, maybe making way for some young guys too to come in out of the pen to eat up a couple innings. But I would love to see him get 4 or 5 a start, and maybe earn a little playoff spot, dude. God knows he's earned it in my heart and soul, Jess.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, just to speak on the Dodgers as a whole here is pitching, because, if you look at the Dodgers run differential, they're only a +7. They've given up 86 runs through 20 games, which is, very, very below what we very much higher than what we normally expect from the Dodgers. But remember, there was that 16-0 game against the Cubs where the majority of those runs were from, one bad inning from Ben Kasparius, and then Miguel Rojas going out there and impersonating the Dodgers bullpen, which was fun, but he gave up like 6 runs or whatever it was. So like you kind of have to just erase some of that and grade that on a curve. But you did mention the defense, which to me is like the biggest concern that I have, because, especially coming off of a World Series where the Dodgers players themselves were making such a big deal, talking shit about the Yankees and the defense that they played in the World Series. And now here we are the season following, and they're one of the sloppiest teams in baseball so far. Their outs above average for the outfielders, I believe it's at 0. Like they're literally like exactly average, meaning that they're not tracking balls down. And to defend Bobby Miller a little bit, there was a play in the third inning where Pages could have dove for a ball. The ball had a 75% catch probability, but it fell in front of Pages, who didn't make a dive for it. So you'd think with like a little bit better defense in the outfield, that catch gets made and it doesn't balloon into a 6-run inning or a 5-run inning or whatever it was. So that is that's like the biggest glaring issue for me right now is the defense, and it has nothing to do with Mookie Betts at shortstop. He's actually been one of like the 4 or 5 best shortstops in baseball. Well, I have some stat from my buddy here really quick that I want to read to you. Just give me a second and I will find it, because it's actually interesting. He's 7th in outs above average, league wide for all defenders. 7th in outs above average, 12th in defensive rating, 8th in fielding run value, 8th in range. And that's league wide. Among shortstops, he's 3rd, 4th, 4th, 4th. So he's like the 4th best shortstop in baseball right now.
Wow. It
has nothing to do with Mookie playing shortstop. It has to do with the other guys that are in the outfield right now: Conforto, Teoscar, Pages. So it's a very bad defensive outfield, or at very least like league average, which it makes a difference when you're trying to have one of the best pitching staffs in baseball, because part of that is playing solid defense that can track down fly balls. And we've seen Pages have some trouble tracking down, famously the Philadelphia one where he just completely rerouted himself.
God, that's going to live forever, that highlight, or low light, I should say.
There was another one in center field where I forget who was pitching. It was Snell. It was in Snell's last outing before going on the IL, where he completely imploded. Well, there was one play that Pages, the ball kind of popped out of his glove, jumping on the warning track. And then yesterday, letting that ball fall in front of him for Bobby Miller. The fucking key here is that like Pages is kind of driving me a little crazy, Brandon, if I'm being perfectly honest. But that to me is the biggest deal, and bottom half of the order. Bottom half of the order has to produce, and I think that it will because now that Freddie's back in the lineup, I think we're going to start to see that happen a little bit more. But like, man, bottom half of the order has been like putrid, absolutely fucking terrible so far.
Yes, it's been tough to watch at times. It's like, dude, where were these? What are these at bats? It is funny though, dude. This is a little bit off topic, but it is funny how.
One thing, sorry. All that being said, we're still 14-6. So.
Yeah, I mean, can't complain. Yeah. But it is funny, dude. I was just gonna say like how quickly the torpedo bat talk has just kind of like fizzled out. Like everybody's team's got him a little bit. And it's like, that's stupid.
We said this from the beginning. This is a nothing. This is a nothing.
Yeah. You know why we knew that, Jesse?
Ball knowers.
Couple of ball knowers. My co-host here and I, couple ball knowers. I thought you were gonna throw your bottle against the wall. I would have fucking laughed so hard if you were like, God damn.
I wish.
Oh man, we're both
Get some
renting.
breakaway glass. We got to plan some like sketches like that. Just like keep the audience on their toes. Like, whoa, fucking.
I agree, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
And then
about
don't
whinging.
like I break it against the wall and then like we don't even say anything about it. I just continue with the podcast.
I love that, dude.
Yeah.
Jesse, is Tommy Edman the biggest like steal in like free agent signings of all time?
I mean, he's leading the Dodgers in home runs right now. That's for sure. He's
Crazy. Leading the team in WAR as well.
It's unbelievable. Obviously we're only 20 games in. 260, 6 homers, 14 RBIs. I mean, you sort of wonder where the team would be without Tommy Edman at the moment.
Dude, he's already racked up 1.1 WAR. Dude,
Yeah.
Shohei's only at 0.8 WAR. It's pretty crazy. I don't think even with Tommy's stellar defense that we would have said at the beginning of the season that, by a tenth of the way through games played that he would have a higher, WAR than Shohei. It's pretty crazy. It's super rad. Shouts out Korean Heritage Night too. Tommy Edman's mom.
Yeah. Did you see
Super rad.
his mom threw out the first? I'm sorry. I love his mom. Seems like a sweetheart, but one of the worst first pitches of all time. Did you see?
Whoa, dude! Jesse Rose a hater.
Yeah, dude.
Let him hear it in the comments if you think Jesse Rose a hater.
Sweet Korean lady, raised a great kid, but that was god awful. That was god
Love
awful.
it, dude.
There was a story I didn't know this about Tommy Edman that I guess he. My buddy sent this to me the other day that he saved a dog or something like that. Did you hear that
What?
story?
No,
Right. He saved a border collie from a burning building,
that's fucking rad.
and it was a seeing eye border collie for an elderly woman with cancer.
Oh my god.
And then he paid for her chemo.
Oh my god, he's a hero.
Yeah. Tommy Edman, dude. I mean, this is the kind of quality person that the Dodgers sign,
What a guy. Wow.
No,
I salute you. Thank you for your service, Tommy
Yeah.
Edman. You're the man. World Series champion, Tommy Edman, everybody.
Just kind of feels like he's the MVP of the team right now. And,
Loving it. He'll be an all-star. I'm calling it,
4 teams, the NL West right now. 4 teams have a winning percentage of 600 or higher, 3 over 700. The Dodgers are in second place at the moment. Before we move on, do you see this as like the new normal? Like, are you a believer that the Giants are going to maintain this pace? Maybe not a 700, 600 pace, but 550 range, be competing for the division. Do you think that the Snakes, Padres? Do you think they're going to be there? Like, what do you make of this so far? We're 10th of the way through the season now.
I'm a big Jung Hoo Lee guy. I'm a big believer.
Unreal.
I think
Yeah.
Logan Webb's just like just a dog. You know what I mean? And look, I ain't a fucking Giants fan whatsoever. You see this blue dude, El Toro, dude, he runs through these veins. But I'm also just a ball fan. So, Jesse, I believe in the power of friendship, and I think that is what fuels the fires up in the Bay of San Francisco. I think I did say this last pod, Jess, but until proven otherwise, until I see, these Giants stumble, I think they're legit. I think they're a balanced team, even though they might not jump out at you with some of the star power that like a San Diego has, or even, the Diamondbacks. But baller's ball, dude. That's just facts. Check me if I'm wrong, dude. You can look that up.
I'm just doing a little bit of research because I'm debating right now if my friend sent me that text about Tommy Edman and saving the border collie, if that was just like him joking, or if I got hit with some fake news.
Dude, if you fake news me and I just believe you with my whole heart, I'm gonna be just real flippin' upset at you, dude. Man.
I think he might have been joking, and I got hit with some fucking fake news.
Dude, you got fake news.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it.
Because I'm not seeing anything on the internet about Tommy Edman saving a border collie for an elderly woman. I think, you know what? I feel pretty stupid right now.
Oh my god, you duped me, dude. You brought me into this tomfoolery, dude.
I know. All right, let's move on here because
God, I'm disgusted right now.
I know.
gross, dude.
Hey, listen. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Giants. I have a hard time believing that they're going to keep pace with the Padres and the D-backs. But I think that Jung-Hoo Lee has clearly made a huge difference in that the way that team scores runs and gets base runners on and things like that. I think he absolutely tormented the Yankees in the series.
Yeah, dude, he flamed them.
Home runs or something. Yeah. So I like what they're doing, but I would still say that the Diamondbacks are gonna be. I feel like the D-backs are still going to be like the best team out of those three. But
dude, right now, Jung-Hoo Lee in 18 games, 69 ABs, has 24 hits, 19 runs, 7 walks with 12 Ks for a 348 average, dude. Pretty tasty, dude. Pretty
good.
Tasty. I think he's got 3 homers on the year. Yeah, 3 homers and 3 stolen bags. Not bad, dude.
Dodgers are going into Texas now. They're going to go
play the
Rangers.
Dude.
We got Yamamoto versus Jacob deGrom. That's a pretty good pitching matchup, I would
say.
Oh,
dude, I'm flamed about this one, Jess.
Yeah. So DraftKings put out a top 10 pitchers list, and just as of right now, where did you send it to me, Branden? I'm sorry.
I got it up right here, Jess.
Right.
I'm just going to start from 10 and work our way to 1. Top 10, starting with Hunter Green, Cole Reagans, Logan Webb, the aforementioned Jacob deGrom. We got Chris Sale, Logan Gilbert, Garrett Crochet, Zach Wheeler, Tariq Skubal, and the one and only Paul Skeens. Jesse, who is notably missing from that?
Oh, I mean, Yoshinobu Yamamoto comes to mind.
Yes, sir. It is Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yeah. It is disgusting, the disrespect that they're throwing to my boy, the Lion himself, dude. Just can't wait to be king, Yamamoto. Dude, he's pitching to, like, all-star status right now, and I feel like he's being slept on, even though he's the highest-paid pitcher in the game.
Yeah.
What is happening, dude?
deGrom has a 4.3 with a 1.3 whip right now. Had a very good first start, but Yamamoto, I mean, take a look at his stats right now. He's 2-1 with a 1.23 ERA and a 0.91 whip. This list is going to change. I don't know when they made it.
What are we doing?
I just feel like even if this was like a preseason list, the problem that I have with it is deGrom hasn't proved that he's a top 10 pitcher in like 2.5 years.
Bro, like 5 years. What are you talking
about? I mean, like when he was last seen, I think it was like 2.5 years ago, and he was very good, obviously, but like he hasn't pitched. How could you put him in the top 10 when he hasn't pitched? Like, I don't know. I don't understand it. But we're gonna put it to the test. Tomorrow. We'll see what we'll see.
It is still a rad matchup. Very excited about it.
Yeah. It's a good little test for the Dodgers coming off the Rockies series because, again, Rockies are not a Major League Baseball team. So.
Yeah, and the Rangers are fighting for their division. They're expected to be a playoff team. Good to go see old friend Corey Seager, old Big Cock Jock. See how the boys are living.
Yeah. No,
Jock, I think it's having a dog shit season to start though.
It's also good to visit the visit the stadium where the first ever World Series championship was won at that stadium was by the Los Angeles Dodgers, not by the Texas Rangers, by the way. So
Longhorns, let's go Dodgers.
Some people are calling it the Dodgers house, like they're calling it the Dodgers vacation home.
I've heard that. I've heard that the Dodgers Airbnb Globe Life Stadium to the Texas Rangers. I've heard that. That is a fact. I've heard that.
So we'll see how it goes. It'll be a fun series. But let's switch over to some non-Dodger talk here. Let's go to the fun half. A little drama.
Little drama brewing, dude. Little drama brewing.
Yeah,
dude,
go ahead.
Did you see this post about Aaron Judge's stats, like over the last whatever it was, 160 something games or whatever? Yeah. Just that he's just on this like torrid best right-handed hitter of all time, numbers. And then his numbers on the season are even reflecting it. 400 average, 754 slug, 1.2 OPS. Jesse, he's off to such a hot start again. He's got former teammates lamenting his absence, dude. Most noticeably, the highest paid player in the game, New York's own Juan Soto. King of New York, right? New York Mets, that is, was saying that it's a little bit different not having the best hitter in baseball behind him and that he's seeing a lot of different pitches. And they're attacking him just way different. He's getting, more intentional walks, whatever. Judge basically said he refuses to comment on it. But Jess, some Mets fans are crashing out over these comments. And I got to ask you, dude, what should Mets fans be more upset about? Juan Soto's comments about missing Aaron Judge hitting behind him, or Juan Soto's playing up to this point in the season? Jess.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let me preface by saying Juan Soto was asked a question by a reporter about like the slow start that he's been on, and Juan Soto, he answered the question by sort of saying that he's not hitting behind Judge anymore, like you said. So he was just answering a question. He didn't volunteer it out of nowhere. He was just answering questions. So we should preface it by saying that the problem with what Soto said was that, he's talking as if like he has no protection when Pete Alonso has like the 5th best OPS in baseball right now or something, off to an amazing start to the year. So, which Alonso is probably getting better pitches to hit with the benefit of having Soto in the lineup. Yeah. So it's a trade-off, right? You're getting a trade-off off of it.
Definitely.
The problem, and I think that if I'm a Mets fan, would annoy me is like you just got the biggest contract in history.
Yeah, dude.
And you got it when you left the team that you're talking about. And you're basically like saying that like it kind of feels like you're trying to justify the contract. And I know that's not what he said, but it almost feels like that's why he's saying it, simply because those two teams are always going to be linked together. Like that, Soto and the Yankees and the Mets will always be linked. Soto and Judge will always be linked in that way because of like the what if-isms that come with it. Mm-hmm. And it feels like he's trying to justify it because he's like, basically, what is he saying? That like, hey, Mets, Steve Cohen, like we need to get another hitter in the lineup, like that so that I can get better numbers. It's like, well, no, they didn't pay you probably what's going to end up being $800 million because you're great when there's an all-time great hitter hitting in front of you or behind you. They paid you because you're the all-time great hitter. Like, that's the problem with the comments, is that you're not, like, you're not acting like you're the all-time great hitter. You're acting like, I was great because of that guy. And that comes off very frustrating if you're a Mets fan, who I imagine are kind of divided on this. I'm sure there are some people who are like, hey, he was just answering a question, like, it's not a big deal. And then I'm sure, like, I've seen some that are like, dude, shut the fuck up. Yeah. Like, why are you saying this? And I know that Aaron Judge was also asked about it, and you mentioned, and he was just kind of like, dude, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Like, he left the team. You know what I mean? Like, Juan Soto is not on the team anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks volumes about it, is like, it kind of feels like he doesn't have buyer's remorse, but it kind of feels like he's a little bit in his own head and in his feelings a little bit about why he's having a slow start. Because I believe he only has 1 home run and 4 RBIs right now. I could be mistaken on that. I'm going to look at his stats right now.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. No. He has 3 home runs and 7 RBIs, but he's hitting .231. So,
Hey, it's tough when the spotlight's all on you, right? Like, and I know that's funny saying it when you got Francisco Lindor in front of you and you got Pete Alonso behind you.
I forgot about Lindor.
Right. I think he's off to a notorious slow start too, right? I know he gets hot a little bit more around when it warms up in the spring. So we'll see if that keeps true with Frankie. Frankie smiles.
The Mets are in first place.
Right. I mean, I guess you for $800 million contract, right? Well, after all the bells and whistles are settled, I guess you kind of hope you're running away with the division. But Mets fans, it's all good, dude. I
Yeah.
don't think it's that big of a deal. Like you said, Jesse, he was asked this question and he answered it. But like I said, dude, let me read those numbers off to you again. Just just this is an insane start to the season. Just at a 400 average, with a 1.2 OPS. I mean, the slug at 754, you maybe wish he was a little bit higher, but I mean, it's just insane, right? Like, Judge, if you didn't know, has been named as team captain for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic, and I think that's a great call. I mean, dude looks like fucking the Incredible Hulk, so it's pretty rad to see him rock
Yeah.
the Avengers shield. But Jesse, I wanted to ask you, does Aaron Judge put up these gaudy numbers if he's in the middle of the fucking four-headed dragon that is the NL West right now?
Oh wow. So you're asking if would he be as good in the NL West?
I don't
I
think
mean, look. Yankee Stadium is obviously people call it like a little league park because of the short porch situation over there, and he does go the other way a lot. He does get some cheap homers out of it. Uh, I mean, he is. I just find it hard to believe that he wouldn't be a supreme talent in any city that he played in any division that he played in. Basically, the question is like the pitching. Would he do as well against the pitching in the NL West? Like, sure, maybe he would be like a 1.0 OPS and not a 1.2 OPS. You know what I mean? Like he might have some lesser stats, but I still think he would be one of the top 2 or 3 players in baseball. So
Because I was going to say, I mean, if he's in the NL West, he does get to feast on the Colorado Rockies.
yeah, but he also gets to feast.
Bums.
Yeah, I mean, like the Orioles pitching sucks right now. You face Tampa Bay's pitching. You face. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the pitching is better. No, that's one team though, Brandon. Like the top 4 teams in the NL West all have really good pitching right now. So
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
yeah, I don't know. It's a good question, but I still think the talent wins out.
I love you, but you're wrong, dude. I think his average drops over 100 points. I think he's closer to 300.
Oh, he's only hitting 300. Okay, got it. All right.
Exactly, dude, but it's different than 400. That shit's insanity, dude. The
Yeah.
last guy I saw hit 400 was Manny fucking Ramirez, dude. Manny
Yeah.
Wood, and that guy was juicing. But it was a fun ride, dude.
Yeah, no, I mean it's crazy. Was it like 100? His last 123 games, he's hit like 58 homers or something like that.
Something just absurd, dude. And
Yeah.
they went off in the
It's
playoffs.
just
Like,
crazy. I mean, he's the best offensive force like since Barry Bonds. You know?
I know we were talking about Tommy Edman as the biggest steal of all time, but like for me, Manny Ramirez's trade when we got him, that was the most excited I've ever been for a trade. Just like, oh my god! Like,
Part of that is age, dude. Like, cause we were like kids then when that happened. It was like 20 years old when the Dodgers made that, like 19 years old when the Dodgers made
Yeah.
that trade. So that was like you're right. That was like the first like holy shit, the Dodgers got like the best hitter in baseball.
yeah.
And now it's been basically that for the past 4 years for the Dodgers as
Been
Dodgers.
pretty
fans.
sick, dude.
Yeah.
Been pretty sick.
So we're a tenth of the way through the season. So I guess it's a good time to sort of go through our top stories before we wrap up here. And, maybe not early season MVPs. It's a little too early for that, but like early season breakout, top story, favorite players of the new year so far. Like in terms of the Dodgers, Tommy Edman, I think is like the easy answer here. Maybe, maybe, I don't know. Who's your favorite Dodger so far of the year?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it does got to be Teo, right? Not Teo. I'm sorry, Tommy. Sorry, got to be Tommy Tanks. But honestly, I've really, really enjoyed watching Will Smith play this year.
He's been great. Will Smith has
He
been.
just,
He's
he
been
just
awesome.
looks like such a pro, dude. And
Yeah.
like, it just feels kind of like there's a good like rudder on the ship, right? Like steering us into clear waters. But how about you? Who's been your favorite Dodger this year so far?
I mean Edman for sure.
for
Just
sure.
but he's but I gotta say like I think I'll probably just it's an easy answer, but Mookie. Not because of his offense. He actually hasn't had like this amazing start. He's been really solid, obviously, but like it's been just how good he's been on defense. I think I've been very happy with how
Yeah.
he's taken on shortstop, and I think it's just like what an unbelievable athlete that guy is.
Right.
To be a right fielder, second baseman, and now a shortstop for the Dodgers, the most demanding position. Just awesome that he's one of the best shortstops in baseball right now. But in terms of
Insane.
non-Dodgers, I'm going to go first because I'll let you have your little victory lap because you predicted yours. But for me, it's your AL division winning champion for 2025 on the Sacramento Athletics, Tyler Soderstrom, first baseman for the A's. He just hit his 9th home run today.
Wow.
He hit 2 home runs the game before. He's at 9 home runs on the year. He's currently on pace for 76 home runs, which would break Barry Bonds' all-time regular season record.
Damn, and all it took was getting in a AAA park, dude.
Yeah.
West Sacramento, stand up.
So he's been great. He's 23 years old. There's a recession to the means coming at some point, but I really like the future for the A's if this kid is the real deal, because then you've got Soderstrom along with like Rooker and Lawrence Butler and
Mason Miller.
Yeah, some of those other young guys.
You got a legit young core right there,
Yeah, they've got.
We didn't have an ass shit loser owner like John Fisher, who's not going to invest in any talent, but.
No, they need this to happen. If they're going to be successful, they need players like this to work out. That's how it all works for them.
Definitely.
So,
speaking of franchises who need somebody to be that guy, right? Jess, just a ball knower's answer when we were making these predictions earlier this year. Spencer Torkelson of your Detroit Tigers. Jess, did I not call this?
You did.
Did I not call this? DraftKings, dude, you owe me something.
Yeah.
So far, 66 ABs. Kid's got 18 hits, 14 runs, 13 ribbies, 9 walks. Kind of a lot of strikeouts, 25. But he's got 6 homers and a stolen bag to the tune of a 273 batting average. Dude, there was a lot of doubt around Torkelson after last season. Is he going to be able to be a power bat or even get a little average going? And he's done both. Looked great against the Dodgers in the opening series of the season and has kind of never looked back. It's really cool to see another young core kind of evolving before our eyes in Detroit. And got to give it to him. The kid looks good in the pinstripes, dude.
Yeah.
Not the evil empire, but Big Motor City, dude. Shout out Torque Show. We're
Really?
all stars now in the Torque Show, and you heard it here first. Spencer Torkelson's going to be an all-star representing the AL.
I agree. I do think Torkelson's going to be an all-star because I was actually watching a game against the Twins the other day, and he didn't hit a home run, but it was one at bat where he hit 2 home runs foul by maybe 6 or 7 feet down the left field line. And then it was like a 9 or 10 pitch battle where he was just smoking the ball every time he made contact, and then he ended up drawing a walk. And I noticed that in the series against the Dodgers this year, he was just putting up such competitive at bats, really working counts really well, and drew some walks, which I think is like his the most impressive thing that he's done so far, because he's getting on base and to a tune of a 367 on base and a 988 OPS through 18 games. So, the Tigers are currently in first place in the division. They have the best run differential in the division right now, only by a half game, but they do have the best run differential to pat with that. And I think that, being the number 1 overall pick 4 years back, this is the right time for him to figure it out. And just the batted ball data, everything suggests that this is real. That he is
Daddy.
That he's a guy. Now, that stadium kind of sucks for him because it's a tough place to hit a lot of homers, but I still think that the contact is good enough where it's going to pan out. And I think you're right. I do think Spencer Torkelson will be representing the Tigers on the All-Star team. Probably like a last-minute vote-in type of situation, but he will.
Hey, if he keeps bashing, he might be undeniable. So we'll see. He's hitting considerably higher for average right now than in years past. He hit 219 last year, 233, and 203 in the years before that. So, considerably higher. Maybe it's starting to click for the guy. So you love to see it. You love to see it.
It would not be an episode of Deferred Collusion if we didn't wrap up the show with one story where we just dunked on the Angels for a minute here.
Right? And look, you guys, I know what you're probably saying. Wait a minute, but the Angels are off to a great start. They're off to a 9-8 start. They're a game and a half behind in the division. Are you guys going to talk about that old story with the Astros fan that took the ball out of? No, we're not talking about Trout. Jess, we're talking about ownership. Ownership is catching some strays. Well, no, they're catching direct bullets from somebody, aren't they, Jess?
Yeah, so there's a guy. His name is Senator Tom Umberg. He's he's a state senator, and he is filing for the Angel. He's putting in a request for the Angels to get audited, and basically that the Angels and their stadium, the deal that they have, he's calling a sweetheart of a deal. He is implying that this deal incentivizes the Angels to be unsuccessful because it forces the city to pay for the stadium if they are so. And now listen to this. So this is his quote. The audit confirms what we have long suspected. The Angels have been operating under a sweetheart deal negotiated and signed by previous city officials that in no way, shape, or form benefits the residents of Anaheim. In fact, it may put them at risk of physical harm. The audit uncovered that, unbelievably, the worse the Angels do, the less they need to pay in rent. The city's share of revenue is tied to attendance. The failure of the Angels to put a decent product on the field means that the city is basically paying the Angels to play baseball in their stadium. To add insult to injury, the city has no authority to inspect the stadium for health and welfare, public safety, or earthquake standards. A safety inspection hasn't occurred in over 30 years. It's clear that compared to other California cities that own professional sports facilities, the former city council of Anaheim was railroaded by the Angels for decades. There's a longer quote, but basically, yeah, the Angels are incentivized to not only lose, but they are not taking care of any sort of public health standards to protect their citizens. They haven't had this guy's claiming, I don't know for sure if this is correct or not. Any Angels fans, correct us. You know the situation better than we do. But that there's not public, any sort of city inspection or any sort of, update to their
I think it's wild, dude. And one thing that I thought was pretty interesting too is that he makes the point that this team doesn't even want to refer to itself as the Anaheim Angels, the city that it has a stadium in. So they're rightfully calling out, hey, this is disrespectful as shit. And you have an agreement that encourages you to suck. We don't want some rundown stadium just, harboring. I was about to say something gnarly. I was about to say real hot take. I was about to say harboring fugitives, just because they're now representing the former athletic trainer in the defense case against Tyler Skaggs' estate, the late pitcher. But anyways.
Well, also, didn't the Angels, weren't they the ones that were harboring, they were the team that the sticky stuff thing originated from? Because I believe it was one of the guys that worked for the Angels that was the basically the drug dealer of Spider Tack, or his little concoction that he would give to Garrett Cole and other pitchers around the league. He was the guy that everybody would go to. So he had his little side hustle while working for the Angels.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, the drug thing.
It does seem like this organization is a little bit mismanaged, just to say. Not to
mention that the ex-mayor pled guilty to federal corruption fucking over the Angels Stadium deal a couple years ago. Do you remember that? The former mayor of Anaheim pled guilty to obstructing an FBI corruption investigation into the $150 million sale of Angel Stadium to the owner of the Major League Baseball team.
Yeah.
That's what the federal prosecutors announced back in August 2020.
No, it makes you wonder, why did Artie Moreno want to sell the team? And then all of a sudden he backtracked and reneged on it.
Right.
You wonder if maybe there's like stuff, allegedly, I'm just speculating here, but maybe there's some stuff on the books, some stuff going on behind the
Collusion.
scenes that like he doesn't want out there because when you sell the team, you're forced to audit because they have to. The people that are buying it have to know what they're buying, right? And then he's like, actually, you know what? I'm not selling. This reminds me of a certain political leader who never wants to leave office, but I'm not gonna say anymore. Anyways,
Jesse, it makes you think how many teams that are like, maybe family owned or got these little groups got some sweetheart deal just like that and kind of have an incentivized to lose lease
well,
program.
it makes you realize like Major League, the movie Major League, is based on real life. It's like
Absolute dude.
yeah, it's based on real shit, and this is the shit that they're talking about. It's the same thing with the A's being relocated. Not that the Angels want to be relocated, but if you're not incentivized to spend a lot of money and you actually benefit from not doing so, why would you ever do it? And that's
No, dude. But
that's
I'm
why
just
this is
like,
not to them. That to them, this is not about the game of baseball. This is about the game of business. That's all it is. And they'll do
dude.
whatever it is to protect their bottom line, even if it's like only saving a few pennies on the dollar. They'll make that they will favor that decision every time. So,
Dude, scoundrels, that's what they love. The almighty dollar, that's what they care about.
yeah,
Not human beings, and sure as hell not winning championships
that's
for
right.
your dear, long suffering fans.
Poor
Colorado,
Mike
we
Trout.
really went out after you guys too. But yeah, I'm sorry, Angels fans. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That sucks, but at least your team's playing good ball. But yeah, you got to get Artie Moreno out of there. And
And
sorry to your
what's his
Colorado
name?
fans for shitting on you.
Logan O'Hoppy's been good. I like
He's
Logan
been
O'Hoppy.
great, and their
Yeah.
second baseman. Oh man, what's his
Oh,
name?
Kyron Paris. Yeah, Kyron Paris has been
Dude,
good. Yeah.
frickin' A, that guy's lighting the world on fire right now. Insanity.
Get Mike Trout out of there though. It's time for him to get traded. Get them
Hey, he's
fucked.
bopping, but
Yeah.
yeah, I hope this isn't another Otani thing where they might be touching the playoffs, but they don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna all follow apart.
Either
But,
way, good. This was a good one. Good flow to this
this
episode.
did feel good, dude. Good
Yeah.
flow indeed. And Jess, just like that, it's been another episode of Deferred Collusion, bud. And I got to tell you, dude, from one co-host to another, this has felt great. I've really enjoyed it. Some great points. And you know what, everybody? That's what we wanted to feel like. Like you're just in with a couple of your coworkers, enjoying a little longer of a break than you need to. But you're indulgent. You work hard and you deserve it. And guess what? You're just talking ball with a couple of ball knowers. That's
right.
the Deferred Collusion promise. And that's our guarantee to you.
That's
our
right.
valued
Get
listener.
the deferred collusion stamp of approval.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Jess,
Well-
any final thoughts? Any messages
No,
before we get out of
Dodgers.
here?
Dodgers in Texas. Be a fun series. Tune in. Maybe we'll have a weekend episode. Maybe not. I'm going to Kansas City next week for a work trip, so I'm hoping to go catch a Royals game at Kauffman Stadium. So if I do, I might make a little bit of like a video vlog of some sort from the stadium because I've never been to that ballpark. So whenever I'm in a new city that has a baseball team, I always like to go visit it and check
If
them
you
out.
got
So,
any food wrecks, hit us in the comments.
Yeah.
I've been telling my boys, got to try some of that barbecue for me. I'm big jelly beans. Jess, before we get out of here, I just want to ask you one last question. Like you said, we are at a tenth of the way through this MLB season, the year of our Lord 2025. And Jesse, I wanted to ask you, what Bright Eyes song would you say best describes the MLB season up to
wow.
this point?
Hold
Probably
on.
hard to just pick one, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, God, there's so many, Oh my God.
Wow, I did not expect you to take a song. Thank you, everybody. This has been Deferred Collusion. We're going to get out of here while Jesse thinks about that. To all my baseball Bright Eyes fans out there waiting on his answer, it's okay, dude. We'll get to it.
Old soul song.
Whoa! I don't know that one, dude, but
Yeah.
that's my emo king. The crest.
It actually has no relation to the season whatsoever. I just wanted to like name one before we got off the air. So yeah.
I just wanted to hit you in the elder millennial emo just funny bone right there, you know? So I'm glad I got to. Jess, I love you.
Love you too, buddy.
Can't wait for the next one, dude. Deferred Collusion. See
Go
ya.
Blue. Peace.